is the enemy of insight. You can see your situation going wrong because you don't see God right. You can find yourself falling apart because you see the armies are attacking you. But it's important to know God so I can influence my feelings to know God. I'm going to give you guys an example, right? It's like watching your favorite movie. Of course, if you have a favorite movie, you're going to watch it over and over and over again because it's your favorite movie, right? But let's say, for example, like you tell somebody like, hey, like watch this movie with me. This movie good. Like I watch this over and over and over again. That new person that's watching that movie might be anxious because they don't know what's going on in the movie. You're clueless, but you're not clueless because you know what the movie is about. So that's an example of the servant and Elijah. Elijah knows God, but the servant was anxious. Journey babes, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, don't be rude, girl. Hit that like and subscribe button because you already know you're going to love this channel, period. And like I say in all these videos, please go and check out my description box of the different playlists that I have. You might be wondering, what are those playlists for? Those playlists is for you to binge watch so you can join along within my journey or start your journey today. So enough about me. We're going to dedicate this whole video to you so you can start your journey today. So before I start this church teachings, I want to tell you guys this is going to be the last video that I'm doing for exploring the many names of God. But don't get your panties in a bunch because this is not going to be the last video I'm doing for church teachings. We're just going to switch it to another name. I don't know what I'm going to really name the series. And I'm going to, you know, of course, give you details of what that series is going to be about as well. And I'm also going to have in the description box like the other names of God. This video, we are going to be talking about Jehovah Sabaoth. Jehovah means Lord. Sabaoth means Lord of hosts. I want you guys to go to your Bibles right now and go to 2 Kings chapter 6 verse 8 through 20. Now the king of Aram, I'm not saying it right, sorry, was at war with Israel. After conferring with his officers, he said, I will set up my camp in such and such a place. The man of God sent word to the king of Israel, be aware of passing that place because Armenians are going down there. So the king of Israel checked on the place indicated by the man of God. Time and again, Elijah warned the king so that he was on his guard in such places. This enraged the king of Aram. He summoned his officers and demanded of them, tell me, which of us is on the side of the king of Israel? None of us, my lord the king, said one of his officers. But Elijah the prophet who is in Israel tells the king of Israel the very words you speak in your bedroom. Go find out where he is, the king orders, so I can send my men and capture him. The report came back, he is in Dothan. Then he sent horses and chariots and a strong force there. They went by night and surrounded the city. When the servant of the man of God got up and went out early the next morning, an army with horses and chariots had surrounded the city. Oh no, my lord, what shall we do? The servant asked. Don't be afraid. The prophet answered, those who are with us are more than those who are with them. And Elijah prayed, open his eyes, Lord, so that he may see. Then the Lord opened the servant's eyes, and he looked, and he saw the hills full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elijah. As the enemy came down toward him, Elijah prayed to the Lord, strike this army with blindness. So he struck them with blindness, as Elijah had asked. Elijah told them, this is not the road, and this is not the city. Follow me, and I will lead you to the man you are looking for. And he led them to Samar. Whatever he said that. After they entered the city, Elijah said, Lord, open the eyes of these men so they can see. Then the Lord opened their eyes, and they looked, and they were inside Samaria. So with reading that, we have to consider our situations handled. So whatever situations that you are in is already handled. We have to say it before we actually see it, because God will fight the battles for us. So we don't have to fight the battles alone. So whatever battle that you're going through, you don't have to fight it alone, because God is with you. And Elijah helps us to see that picture when they was at war with the Armenians versus Israel. So Elijah is a prophet that had a vision on how he can win the battle. King Armenians was mad because of the plans he was making was not working. The enemy is not afraid of your victory. The enemy is afraid of your vision. That's what the enemy wanted to destroy Elijah, because Elijah had a vision. The enemy doesn't like seeing your vision. He doesn't like when you don't see yourself getting out that situation. That's why I say consider your situation as handled. So I want you to go back to your Bibles again and go to verse 13 when he says, "Go find out where he is, the king ordered, so I can send my men and capture him." The report came back, he is in Dondon. So with reading that, the enemy doesn't want to kill your gift, right? Because the enemy sees everybody has a gift within them. He wants to influence it. So for example, this example does not go to me because I'm not good at this. You probably know somebody that are very good with their words. Like they're very good at like public speeches and stuff like that. See me, I will be stuttering. So the enemy sees that, right? He sees that gift that you are very good with your words. So he would try to like make you like a manipulative type person, because you know a manipulative person is very good with their words. So the enemy wants to influence it and make it bad so that it will benefit the enemy, but it won't benefit you. So the servant was panicking, right? But Elijah was chilling the whole entire time. So as you see on verse, I think 15, I'm gonna skip when the servant of the man of God, I'm gonna skip that, and I'm gonna go to, "Oh no, my Lord, what shall we do?" the servant asks. "Don't be afraid," the prophet answered. So the prophet is Elijah, remember? "Those who are with us are more than those who are with them." So Elijah was chilling the whole time while the servant was panicking. We don't need to be that person that's panicking in our situation. When life seems like it's failing, keep this in mind. What you know determines how we feel. What you feel determines what I say. What I say determines what I see. It might seem a little confusing, but it'll make sense by the end of this video. So the servant didn't know God. And you know how you didn't know God? Because he was panicking during that situation. But Elijah knew God, so he did not panic. Elijah knows the character of God, so it influences his feelings. He already knows the character of God that influences him to believe in God. Need to be like Elijah. Ignorance is the enemy of insight. You can see your situation going wrong because you don't see God right. You can find yourself falling apart because you see the armies are attacking you. But it's important to know God so I can influence my feelings to know God. I'm going to give you guys an example, right? It's like watching your favorite movie. Of course, if you have a favorite movie, you're going to watch it over and over and over again because it's your favorite movie, right? But let's say, for example, like you tell somebody like, "Hey, like watch this movie with me. This movie good. Like I watch this over and over and over again." That new person that's watching that movie might be anxious because they don't know what's going on in the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like they're clueless, but you're not clueless because you know what the movie is about. So that's an example of the servant and Elijah. Elijah knows God, but the servant was anxious. We see God do so much in our lives for us to panic. We already been through it before, so we need to already know it's being handled. We speak from our feelings, and if our feelings are misinformed, our speech will be too. My emotions speak a lot for me. So this is, for example, you know how you say like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say this because I was mad, da-da-da." It just goes to show that our feelings speak for us. We say stuff and we want to take it back from my speech. So my feelings constantly influences me. What I feel determines what I say. So I also wrote down that we have 12 to 16,000 of thoughts. 80% of them are negative and 95% of them are repetitive, which I really think that is true because most of my thoughts are really repetitive. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Take captive of every thought that you have. If you don't know that verse, that's 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5. Then I also wrote down, the Bible has in response to every life situation / journey. Like I've been saying in these videos, when you know God, you will get your feelings together, and then your speech will become together, and then your life as a whole will become together. And that's an example of a Bible verse is Proverbs 18, verse 21, which I got it right now. And it says, the tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Have to conquer the negativity in our minds so that we can conquer the conversations. The reason I can't conquer my conversation is because I keep trying to transform my words before I transform my mind. So that's another verse of Romans 12, chapter 12, verse 2. It says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by renewing your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. So don't be confused within this world. I say determines what I see. The servant was not inaccurate. He just didn't see enough because he didn't have the faith in his speech. So I wrote down 3 things to keep in mind, and then we're going to end off the video. So the first thing I said was frame my fear. Faith is not the absence of fear, it's the management. If I'm not careful, I will frame God that is too small for my situation. The goal of faith isn't to act like my fear doesn't exist, but to not see the current situation that you are in. When you see like a regular picture frame of like a family, for example, you couldn't see who was in the picture because of how it was framed. They was there, but you couldn't see it. We miss faith because of how we framed it. It didn't fit God in it. What you see is very accurate, but I am not seeing all that I could see, because if you was, you will be like Elijah. Elijah wasn't looking at the current situation that he was going through. He was looking at it beyond that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I gave that example of the picture frame, because we sometimes just look at the picture frame and we're not seeing like the beyond experience of it. God is with you. You just have to expand your frame. Stop allowing doubt, insecurity, family, enemy, frustration, past situations to form the size of your frame. It's my thoughts and focus. The Lord wants us to fight with us. So in Philippians chapter 4, verse 8, it talks about fixes our focus and follow through Christ. And yeah, and then the last thing I wrote down is Elijah followed through his faith. So he's a prime example. This is the ending of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed the last like little episode of exploring the many names of God, because like I said in the beginning of the video, I am going to start a new series. Also, make sure you check out my playlist and to check out my description box of other different names of God. And I challenge you every single day to study these names, if I'm saying, and apply it to your everyday life like I always say. Make sure you give it a like, comment, and subscribe. And also, I want you guys to comment down below, what have you learned throughout this whole series that I did of exploring the many names of God. And I hope you guys have a nice day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.